Hey guys, welcome to the channel, welcome to another video. It's that time of the week again. It's Premier League predictions time. Another round of exciting and intriguing Premier League encounters are almost upon us for this special edition of midweek games from England's top flight division. And of course, this is the video where we talk about the games, analyse them and try to give predictions on how I think each and every single game will turn out for this midweek round of Premier League encounters. Before we get into all of that though, I would like to remind you all to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things are always and forever greatly appreciated. And of course, I encourage you all to get involved in the comment section down below. Use and abuse that section, people. Talk to me on all of these games. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about all of them. And of course, give me your predictions on how you think each and every single game will turn out this week. I'm sure it will all make for great and interesting reading. And after all, where would a Premier League predictions video be, after all, without predictions? Sound good? Great. Let's kick things off, shall we? Let's start with Tuesday night's games. And first up, we've got action from Bournemouth, where Bournemouth will take on Everton. And I have gone with a 2-1 win in favour of Bournemouth. Now, this is a game in which Bournemouth come into it with a little bit of the wind taken out of their sails. They've had a very good start to the season, Bournemouth, but these past several weeks, they've just kind of fallen apart a little bit. Antoine Semenyo's performances have dried up a little bit, and the overall team has just either not had that little bit of luck going forward, or they've been leaking too many goals at the back. And the game against Sunderland was just typical of that in recent weeks. Going 2-0 up, racing into the lead, but then being pegged back to 2-2, and then, of course, ending up losing the game in dramatic circumstances. Everton, we know, can be very, very difficult on their day, but again, they had an up and down week as well. They had an incredible victory against Manchester United that started off terribly for them with that early red card, but they managed to rally together, and a fantastic goal from Dewsbury Hall helped them to a 1-0 win over Ruben Amorim's side. And then this past weekend, they got absolutely thumped by Newcastle in that incredible 4-1 victory to the Toon Army. I don't know what to expect from this then. Given the up and down nature of both teams, I don't know what to expect. I've gone with a 2-1 victory to Bournemouth. I think that maybe the home advantage might be able to tip the scales in their favour. But that isn't to say that David Moyes' side can't get a victory in this game, though, or they can't even get a point out of this game. This could genuinely go any which way. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm confused by the home form. And not only that, but when you throw midweek games into the equation and you're playing every 3 or 4 days, those can often be the times where you get some strange results. So it's going to be difficult to predict this week, but I'm going to start off with a Bournemouth victory in their game against Everton. Moving on, Craven Cottage awaits the arrival of Manchester City, and I have gone with a 2-1 win in favour of Pep Guardiola's side. Fulham, of course, still riding off high off that victory against Tottenham at the weekend, whilst Man City left it late in dramatic circumstances, almost bottling the game to Leeds United after racing into a 2-goal lead, only to be pegged back by Leeds to 2-2, but Phil Foden with a winner in the dying embers of the game. Look, again, Craven Cottage is no easy place to go. We know that on their day, Fulham can be very difficult opposition. It's not necessarily an easy place to go. It's not really one you want to be going on a Tuesday night under the lights. But with the individual quality that City have, you would imagine that City probably do get the job done. Fulham, we know, can be difficult opposition, especially for the bigger teams in the league. Sometimes they do throw a bit more caution to the league, and sometimes they just genuinely go for it a bit more. They can be difficult to predict sometimes. They really, really can. I wouldn't back against Fulham getting something from this game. I genuinely wouldn't. But the individual quality of City, I think, will shine through. And also, the past few games, Erling Haaland has been kept very, very quiet. He didn't even score against Leeds, much to the disappointment of a lot of fantasy football managers. He didn't even score against Leeds. He didn't score against Bayer Leverkusen midweek last week. He didn't score against Newcastle either. So this guy's been missing on the score sheet for Manchester City's past few games. Do I expect that run to continue here? Probably not. Probably not. I think he gets back on the score sheet, and I think City can pick up back-to-back wins this week. This week in midweek action. Big game on Tuesday night. We'll see Newcastle take on Tottenham at St James's Park, and I've gone with a 2-1 win to Newcastle. Now, of course, we know that Eddie Howe's side have been very inconsistent, but they are also coming up against another inconsistent outfit in Tottenham, who haven't exactly had the best of runs since the return of Premier League action after the international break. Losing to Arsenal 4-1, losing to PSG 5-3, and of course losing to Fulham at the weekend. Whilst Newcastle picked up a couple of good wins in their back-to-back games in the Premier League and seemingly are starting to find their groove a little bit in England's top flight division. Voltemade is still scoring goals. They even had a couple of goals from their new centre-back, Malik Thiaw, at the weekend. They have got options for scoring goals right the way across the pitch and are seemingly finding their way back after an inconsistent and rocky start to their Premier League campaign. The question is, though, will that continue? We know that Thomas Frank's side can, if they're in the mood for it and if they turn up, can be difficult to play against. We know that they can be also difficult to handle going forward, but it's about whether or not they're going to throw a bit more caution to the wind. I do feel like in the past couple of weeks, their games in the Premier League have been a bit cautious, a bit cowardly, when really they have the opportunities and they have the people, they have the squad to actually go for games a little bit more and actually, you know, put a bit more of an issue, a concern, a problem onto the opposition, but Spurs just seemingly are much more reserved. The handle break seems to be on Tottenham right now, and I think if they actually did go for it a little bit more, I think they can actually put teams more to the sword. But whether or not that's going to happen here is going to be a different story. St James's Park is a very notoriously difficult place to go for most teams, so you wouldn't put it past Spurs to make it 3 losses in a row since returning from the international break. It's going to be difficult for Spurs. In my opinion, it's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination, and that's why I've gone with a minimum of a 2-1 win to Newcastle. Not at the realms of possibility for Spurs to get something from this game, but I just think that with the kind of form that Newcastle are in comparison to the kind of form that Spurs are in, Spurs are free falling and Newcastle seem to be on the ascendancy. So I am going with the favourite in this scenario, in my opinion. Moving on to Wednesday's games, and first up we've got action from the Amex Stadium where Brighton and Hove Albion will be taking on Aston Villa, and I've gone with a 2-2 draw. These two teams flying high. These two teams had a bit of slow starts to their Premier League campaigns, but have seemingly picked it up these past several weeks or so. So it's going to be an interesting clash when these two teams meet. I think this could be a very underrated game of football between a Brighton side we know we like to get the ball down and play some nice football, and a Unai Emery's side that like to adapt to the opposition that they are facing. That's not to say that they can't play good football themselves, but they are more adaptable in terms of they're much more reserved when they want to be, but they can be free-flowing and devastating when they want to be as well. Both of these teams are coming off the back of big wins at the weekend. I'm intrigued to find out who's going to win this game, if anyone is going to win this game, which is why I can't really pick a winner. I've gone down the middle. I could say that Brighton, given the home advantage, might be given the slight edge, but I could also say that the individual talent and quality of the likes of Morgan Rogers as a prime example, and Daniel Marlon could also help Aston Villa in their quest for victory here at the seaside? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm very much intrigued by this. I'm very much intrigued by this game. I think this could be a very underrated game of football this week. I'm very much looking forward to it. But it's a game that I can't really predict. I can't really predict because I could make a case for either one of these two teams to win it, which is why I'm going down the middle for 2-2. Desmond. Next up, Turf Moor awaits the arrival of Crystal Palace as Burnley take on the Eagles, and I've gone with a 2-0 win in favour of Palace. Palace have been excellent this season so far. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Again under Oliver Glasner. Another big win at the weekend. And I think they're going to pick up another big win here. I can't see this being any other... I think this is one of the more favourable games to call, with all due respect to Burnley and Scott Parker. Again, midweek clashes, playing games every 3 or 4 days can be a little trickier to predict than most. There are certain games in which could throw a bit of a surprise or two, but I think that this again is... Oh no, sorry, Palace lost, didn't they? Palace lost to Man United. I don't know what I'm talking about. Palace lost to Man United on Sunday, but I think they are going to pick up a big win here and get back to winning ways. I don't know why I thought they won at the weekend. I think I'm thinking of the week before, I think. Either way, I do think that... it has still been a good start to the season by Palace regardless. But even so, this is a favourable game for Palace to get back to winning ways with. Again, it's not at the realms of possibility for Scott Parker's side to get something from this game, but with the way that Palace have been, with the scoring form of the likes of Jean-Philippe Mateta, Ismail Assar is in good form as well, the likes of Daniel Munoz as well in good form, you could maybe see some days a bit of a bad day at the office, shall we say, for Oliver Glasner's side. Still been a good start to the season, and I still would expect it to continue here. But yes, Palace to win is what I am going for in this game here. Next up, Wolverhampton Wanderers, still winless this season in the Premier League. They take their quest of their first victory in the Premier League to Molineux, to their home ground, to take on Nottingham Forest. But unfortunately, if my prediction is to come true, they'll still be going in search of that first win of the season, because I had gone with a 2-1 win to Nottingham Forest. Now again, bad day at the office at the weekend for Forest and Sean Dyche's side. A loss to Brighton on Sunday. But I think they could get back to winning ways here. Again, it's another favourable game. It's a favourable game for them to get back to winning ways with. But Wolves really do need points on the board. They are on course for possibly the worst Premier League season known to man. They are possibly on course to even maybe break Derby's record of the lowest point scoring total accumulated in Premier League history. I know we're not even halfway through the season yet, but it could be a possibility given the way that Wolves have been so far this campaign. And as for Forest, like I say, bad day at the office on Sunday against Brighton. But it could be just a bad day at the office. It could be just a blip. This is a very good opportunity to right that wrong, to get back to winning ways, to get 3 more points on the board, to fight off relegation, essentially. I think they'll do it. I think they'll get across the finish line, and I think they will get the 3 points. Again, Wolves could potentially get a draw. That isn't out of the realms of possibility, but I think the individual quality of Forest will shine through, as well as the united front of Forest will shine through, and Wolves just haven't been great this season, so they should be there for the taking. Forest should smell blood, and they should be relentless in their approach to this game, in my opinion. Moving on to Ellen Road next, where Chelsea will take on Leeds, and I have gone with a comfortable 3-0 win to Chelsea. Now again, this should be one of the more favourable games to call this week. Big week for Chelsea in terms of obviously trying to catch Arsenal. They had an opportunity on Sunday. They managed to take a point off of their rivals. And here is an opportunity to again potentially close the gap on Arsenal if, of course, results go their way. I've gone 3-0. It's a favourable game for Chelsea. This should be a game in which they are looking at as a win. That isn't out of the realms of possibility to say that Leeds can't lay a glove on Chelsea. Maybe they can. But I just think with how Chelsea have been since coming back from the international break, I just think that they've got too much momentum within them to slip up here. So I'm going with a 3-0 win to Chelsea. Pretty comfortable. Get a few goals under their belts. And I'm going for a comfortable evening in Leeds for Enzo Maresca's side. Next up, Anfield awaits the arrival of Sunderland for the first time since their return to the Premier League. And I've gone with a 1-1 draw. Now, I was tempted to say that Sunderland win this game in the hope that that reverse psychology would mean Liverpool win. For those of you who don't know, I predicted Liverpool to lose to Aston Villa, and I have predicted Liverpool to lose to West Ham, and on both occasions, Liverpool actually won those games. In between those games, I predicted Liverpool to maybe get a draw or a win, and they ended up just embarrassing themselves and losing. So I was kind of thinking that maybe I'm the problem and I'm a bit of a jinx. So maybe I should have gone with a loss here. Maybe I should have gone with a loss to Liverpool and said something like 2-1 or 3-1 Sunderland or something. But I've gone 1-1. I've said 1-1 now. I'm sticking with that. And I know it's horrible to say, given the fact that Liverpool are at home, Liverpool are at Anfield, and with all due respect, it is Sunderland. But Sunderland have been brilliant this season on their return to the Premier League. They really, really have been brilliant. And at the weekend, they showed that never say die attitude. They went 2-0 down. They came back to 3-2. They won the game against Bournemouth. And I think they're going to give Liverpool a really, really, really good game here. And that is what my fear is. I hope that Liverpool turn up and absolutely dominate and absolutely smash them. I hope that that is the case, of course. I want Liverpool to win overall. But being realistic and looking at how we have been exploited this season by various teams, I'm not entirely confident going into this game still. The game against West Ham at the weekend gives me a bit more confidence than what I had before last weekend. But at the same time, I still don't necessarily have enough to suggest that Liverpool have completely turned a corner. Liverpool are now going to go on an incredible run of form, that kind of thing. I'm keeping my feet very firmly on the ground on this. I hope I'm proven wrong and that Liverpool win, but I haven't been shown enough as of right now to suggest that that might be a possibility. Still, prove me wrong. I hope to prove I'm wrong. I hope that I'm wrong in terms of I hope that at the end of the game and at the end of the full-time whistle, I'm sat here smiling from ear to ear and Liverpool have actually won and beaten Sunderland. So I'm hoping that will be the case, but we wait and see. We wait and see. Hopefully this is the game in which Isak continues after scoring on Sunday. Maybe Florian Wirtz finally registers a goal or an assist in the Premier League. Maybe this could be the game that things really do start to look up for Liverpool in this situation. But we wait and see. Thursday night, we'll see Manchester United take on West Ham, and I've gone 2-1 to Manchester United. Now, I think maybe this could rise to 3-1. I think this could actually. I'm gonna put 3-1. Actually, I'm changing it. I'm changing it in the moment. I'm going 3-1. I was going to say 2-1, but I'm actually going 3-1. Man United to win 3-1. Lucas Paqueta will be a big miss for West Ham. He misses this game through suspension, having got sent off against Liverpool at the weekend. Man United, I just have this feeling that at home, Thursday night, under the lights, West Ham not being great, this has got a Man United win written all over it. 2-1, 3-1, somewhere in that region. I still think United will concede because I think, the West Ham will probably get some sort of set piece or something that maybe they score from. But United to win. United to win. I just think they've got the better players, the better individuals, and overall will have the more quality moments in the game to really tip the scales in their favour. And finally, what I believe to be the biggest game of this round of fixtures, the main event of this Premier League weekend. Premier League leaders Arsenal will take on Brentford, and I've gone with a 3-1 win in favour of the Gunners. Now again, I'm not entirely confident in terms of 3-1. It could be 2-1, it could be 3-2, it could be even just 1-0 or 2-0 to Arsenal. I'm not 100% sure on the scoreline, but I do believe Arsenal will win. I do believe they'll have enough defensively to somewhat neutralise Brentford, despite the absences of both of Gabriel and potentially, I think Wimsley might still be out. I'm not 100% sure, but it could be a couple of big misses. We saw that in the past several weeks, if Chelsea and Sunderland are anything to go by, if you have a go at this Arsenal side, they can be a little bit fragile at times, and they can be gotten at. They aren't impenetrable, they aren't invincible in that aspect. So if Brentford play with no fear here, there is a possibility that they could be gotten at Arsenal. Brentford do have an informed striker in Igor Thiago, so that could be something to really look out for in terms of things going in Brentford's favour. But for the most part, you wouldn't back against Arsenal to not lose this game at the very least. We know that obviously they've got a number of different ways that they can break you down. We know that Marino can turn into a prolific goal scorer from out of nowhere. We know that obviously Bukayo Saka's Bukayo Saka. We know that Eze has it in him to turn the game in a moment. They've got game changers right the way across the pitch. And of course, if all else fails from open play, they do have their set piece weapon that they can use at their will. To a consistent and devastating level. So there's enough weapons there for Arsenal to use, and that is why I believe Arsenal will get the job done, get the 3 points, and reaffirm their stance at the top of the table. And there you have it as far as what the midweek games, Premier League fixtures are concerned. Those are my predictions for all of the Premier League games in this midweek block of games. Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling. Let me know your thoughts, comments, opinions, feelings, but most of all, of course, your predictions down below in that comment section. I can't wait to read them all. I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading, so please do use and abuse that comment section, people. And also, don't forget to like the video on the way out, and hope you enjoyed it, hope you liked it, and of course, subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. I've been Fletch. This has been another Premier League predictions video. Thank you all for watching and listening, and I hope to see you all again soon in another video, live stream, or whatever it may be. Cheers, guys. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.